What is a HELOC or a home equity line of credit? What's up, gang? This is Channing. In today's video, I want to spend a short amount of time talking about HELOCs or home equity lines of credit. Now, what a HELOC is, you can kind of tell by the name, it is a loan that uses the equity in your home. Now, there are two different types of home equity loans available. There are home equity loans, and then there are HELOCs or home equity lines of credit. And so with a home equity loan, you're going to see a fixed rate term, right, on in a defined payment period, whether that's 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? And it's going to be a fixed rate mortgage, and it's going to be a second mortgage attached to your primary or first mortgage, or if you don't have a mortgage, it would be the first mortgage, right? But it's typically a second mortgage. And so with that, it's like any other loan. You do the loan, you get the proceeds, and then you make the payments over the life of the loan, 15, 20, 30 years, 10 years, whatever the term actually ends up being. A home equity line of credit is different. So it is a line of credit. So think of it like turning your house, and a lot of people use it like this, into a credit card. So it's a line of credit that you apply for. So you get approved for a certain amount, and you may have to take a particular amount when you first do the first draw in order to qualify for the loan. Some banks require that, some don't. But what it does is it gives you the equity in your home as a line of credit. Now, because it's a line of credit, it is not a fixed interest rate. So when you hear that the Fed is raising rates, your line of credit, your HELOC, is directly impacted by that raising of rates. And so the rate is variable, and typically it's interest only payments. So you're not ever reducing the principal balance. You're always only paying interest only payments unless you're paying more down to the principal, but the monthly minimum payment on those are typically going to be interest only. Now, they will be based on a certain amortization schedule. So you can use them for, maybe it's based on a 10-year repayment schedule or a 15-year repayment schedule. But the primary thing with the HELOC is it's a line of credit, it's interest only payments. Now, you can use this for whatever you want. So you can utilize this for financing a remodel. You can utilize this for buying a boat. You can buy an RV, right? You can finance a college education. Like, what you use the funds for is up to you once you're approved for the loan. But it is a variable interest rate, so it does fluctuate. So you need to keep that in mind. And if you have a pre-planned large purchase mapped out for this, and you know that it's going to take you a while to pay the loan back, then it might be better to do a home equity loan versus the line of credit. Many people use the line of credit as a type of emergency fund or for short-term expenses that they know they'll be able to repay quickly. If you're going to use it, for instance, to go buy an RV or a boat, that's going to typically be a larger purchase. And so having the fixed payment and knowing what to pay back every month is appealing to most people. Now, why would you do either of these instead of refinancing your home? Well, right now, interest rates are higher. So 2 or 3 years ago, so if you purchased a home during that time, the chances of you wanting to refinance your home into a 7% mortgage are very, very slim. And so what this allows you to do is add a second lien to your home at the higher rate without having to refinance the entire home at the higher rate. And it's a lot more appealing to do that because even though the rates are higher, the rate on the HELOC or the home equity loan are probably lower than boat rates. They're likely lower than auto loan rates. And so it still makes sense, but it doesn't make sense to refinance your entire home. Now, it's important to note that not everyone can qualify for these loan programs. They have requirements just like any other loan program does. And typically, you need to have a 680 to 700 credit score or higher and really good payment history to be approved. If you have those things, then you're likely to be approved. If not, then you probably won't qualify, or your rate may be significantly higher. And that's all things that you're going to need to consider when it comes to utilizing a home equity loan or a HELOC. So that's kind of the differences. Obviously, there are refinances such as cash out refinances where you take the actual equity out of your home and then you can use that for whatever your purposes are. But that requires you to refinance the entire balance of your mortgage at whatever the current market rates are. Now, a few words of caution when it comes to these. Number one, HELOCs can get cut. So if you go take out a home equity line of credit and you got a $100,000 balance and conditions in the market continue to deteriorate, the bank can, at will, choose to turn off your HELOC and not give you access to those funds. And if you're using it as a type of emergency fund, then that could be an issue for you if when you actually need the funds, they're not available. Not saying I recommend using your house as an emergency fund, but a lot of people do. The other thing to consider and just be aware of, and it's what I've already said, is that typically your payments are interest only. So if you run up a HELOC and you start making minimum payments because that's all you can afford, you're never going to pay down the principal balance. And a lot of people can get in trouble with that if they do that. So anyways, that's what's going on with home equity loans and HELOCs. I hope that you found this video helpful. Drop me a comment if you have a question. I'd love to help you. We have a 5-day HELOC, so you can get approved in as little as 5 minutes, and it funds in as quickly as 5 days. So if that's something that interests you, you can click the link in the description and book a call with us, and we can have that discussion with you. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later.